Bonjour mes amis! Et bienvenue dans la mission d'interviews Regions of Aether, Europe, France. Apologies for the French. I thought it'd be fun to try and do a French intro, but yes, hello and welcome to the first of many Regions of Aether, Europe interview shows. Hello, I am your host for this evening, Hokori. You may know me obviously from here. I am the content manager, self-appointed for Rivals of Aether Europe, and you may almost definitely know me around these parts as the TO for Euras 2. But tonight, I am going to be your host for the Regions of Aether Europe. Obviously, couple months ago, I did an interview show after the first RTCS season, where I had a bunch of guests from around Europe, and I feel like I garnered enough interest for us to go just regional. And thanks to a vote held by our friends in both Grandcord and our Discord, the first region to be decided was France. So tonight we have exclusively French guests. If you are on our YouTube stream, you'll already know who they are because their links are in the description. But yeah, tonight's a fun one. Sadly, one of our guests could not make it here live, but I have pre-recorded an interview with them, so we won't have to go without them. Apart from that, there's not much more else. Again, I think, let's see, I have how many guests? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have 7 guests here tonight. From across the French community, players, TOs, commentators. So, I haven't dressed up majorly like I did for the RTCS. I had work today, so I am too tired to get all glammed up. But we should be getting started very soon. We are just waiting on our first guest, who will arrive shortly. I told them be here for 25 past, so that gives me some time to get them set up. But yeah, since I've made it no secret, again putting them in the description, yeah, our guests for tonight are Matthias Wolfbrook, Yam, who wasn't really comfortable coming for the French art and the very Frenchy accent. But yeah, Matthias Wolfbrook, Yam, who wasn't really comfortable with this format, so we just had them do written answers, but I'm very grateful that they, put the effort in. We have Metaben, who wasn't able to make it tonight, so I did a pre-recorded interview with them last night. We have the Gamer Pabu, Missy, Ilfanon, and Sauls. So, good range of France's top players, as well as, of course, some commentary, TOing, and the coach. So, but yeah, at the end of each section, obviously discounting Metaben and Yam, I'll open the floor to you guys to ask some questions of our guests. So, feel free at any point during each section to, give us some questions in the chat. I'm not gonna make him say tongue twisters, Ghosty, but yeah, our first guest is ready, so we are going to go to a brief intermission, very brief, as I get them ready. But right as soon as we're able, we will get started with the show. The audio died, what do you mean? Ghosty. Ghosty muted, okay. Anyways, enough about that. Yep, we are going to disappear for a brief moment so I can get our first guest ready. So, we'll be right back. Okay, thank you for the wait, everybody. Yeah, as I said, we have our first guest. Some of you may know them as the prolific commentator in France. Some of you may know them as the creator of the one of the developers on the tournament Stream Helper Tour. but I personally know them as the creator of the first non-Euclidean doubles bracket for Rivals Europe. It is our friend Matthias Wolfbrock. Hello, Matt.
Hello, hello. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course, of course. Obviously, you are pretty well known already, but for those who don't know who you are, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, so in short, my name is Matthias Wolfbrook. Wolfbrook not being my real last name, obviously. It's just it's just a tag. But yeah, I am mostly a commentator on Rivals of Aether 2, as well as other fighting games in general. I also do some support work on Tournament Stream Helper, which is the tool that's used by, I guess, most organizers at this point for actually hosting streams, just in general for Rivals and for, again, other fighting games. And yeah, I do a lot of things. Used to be more of a prolific tournament organizer as well under Wolf TV. That time is has that ship has sailed essentially, and now I just do the odd bracket here and there, but mostly I focus on commentary.
Yeah, and again, you've been all over the place in Europe brackets when it comes to commentary. Obviously, uh, I mean, we've both done RCCS together, and separately, of course. You help with a lot of the bigger tournaments. Again, you hosted your own bracket very recently with Renbud Garos. If anything, with that, what actually inspired the idea of that format to you?
Yeah, the idea was to try and have something that was like different, just from what we usually do in terms of brackets, because most of the time you do like your single or double elimination bracket. That's just you playing against another player, or sometimes the odd doubles, or I guess cruise bracket you could technically do with Rivals 2, similar to how you do Squad Strike in Smash. But I was like, no, I want to try something different. I want to try and be a little bit more of an entertainer, because to me, one thing that's kind of missing right now in the Rivals scene in general, well, first off, is more just French presence in general, which is why I try to do some restreams of like majors and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I kind of missed Genesis because I was ill, but that was kind of the plan. Otherwise, I've done several restreams for like Arrival and stuff like that in French. And the other thing that was missing is just fun formats, things that are not necessarily the usual bracket, tournament, and everything. So yeah, I just looked at what I could do, and I was like, yeah, Rivals we can just play 2v2, so that means I can just copy the Davis Cup, essentially. And that's how Renburn Garros was born, essentially. It's just me copying the Davis Cup and then running with the tennis theme.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, I tried to host the English restream for the last one, but had some issues on my end. But yeah, I mean, it's it was a really fun format. For those who don't know, it was a doubles bracket, but it was one player faces the other, and then the other faces the other. If there's not a clear winner, then it's doubles, and then if there's not a clear winner, keep going. But yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah. One
But
of the things that are really nice about this format as well is that even when you're doing singles, you can kind of have live coaching from the other player in your team, I think, which I think can just help with like strategizing and maybe like improving on the spot. I think there's a lot of possibilities there.
yeah,
And again,
definitely.
it's just fun,
Yeah, it was
something different.
really fun. Now going back to just introducing, what would you say was your main game before Rivals? Obviously, you are, pretty versed and cultured when it comes to the FGC, but if you had to pick just one game to consider your top game before Rivals.
Well, the thing is, it would go back to before Rivals 1 even came out in early access, because I've been there since like the beginning of Rivals 1. At that point, I was a Smash player, funnily enough. Like, I got into the community mostly from watching Project M videos at the time. Most notably with Mewtwo being absolutely broken in 3.0 back then. Was very funny to me. So yeah, I kind of got into the scene, started playing a little bit of Melee, found it a little bit too hard, and then essentially Smash 4 and Rivals 1 came out at the same time, and I was like, yeah, no, Rivals 1 is just more fun.
Yeah, that there is obviously going to be a lot of overlap between Smash and Rivals, but obviously Rivals coming out so soon after Smash 4, I guess probably helped. Definitely helped with Smash content creators such as like Alpharad, for example, helped a lot of people find the game. But apart from that, yeah, a lot of people come from Smash, which is a no-brainer. It's more if it's.
I remember when Crag Pillar didn't go down.
Yeah.
You were standing on it.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. But yeah, yeah.
I actually booted up the build not too long ago, like maybe 2 years ago, for the first build of Early Access, because I was recording for a video that I was working on, which was called Inversus pas comme les autres. It was like the first episode of what was supposed to be a long series, and then I kind of dropped. But yeah, the first episode was on Rivals 2, like right before the last beta.
Nice. Well, with that, what would you say, if there's anything from those other titles that you play, it doesn't even have to be Smash, is there anything you miss from those titles that you would say Rivals doesn't have or just lacks?
I think it comes down to two things, in my opinion. Like, the big thing that Rivals and Rivals 2 especially is kind of missing right now, in my opinion, is casual content. And obviously we've had items and workshop like starting to trickle in. But in my opinion, that's also why a game like Street Fighter V, for instance, didn't really do well, and Street Fighter 6 like exploded. It's just Street Fighter 6 had a lot of casual content, and especially single player content. So that's one thing. The other thing is more personal. I really liked the lobby system of Guilty Gear XX Axum Core Plus R. I just like to challenge random people myself and just pick them myself. It's very social, much better than ranked in my opinion.
Honestly, I feel like a just Arxis in general style lobby system could actually be really fun for a game like this. Dragon Ball Fighters against Xrd. That would, that would be really fun, just having little avatars and stuff and just
To be fair, I just like the simplicity of having a menu, but Axum Core just has 64 player lobbies, so you can just like challenge anyone in the lobby.
Sure. But yeah, I guess with obviously the context out of the way, how active would you say is your, I guess, local scene, the region you're in? Doesn't have to be the town you're in, more the region.
Yeah, in terms of Rivals in general, we did pick up a little bit of steam in Brittany with Rivals 2. At the beginning, we had a few of our majors in Rennes, which were trying to get the game up and running, but obviously PC gaming and everything does make it difficult. Especially when you then factor in the GameCube controllers and everything. Now the scene has kind of moved to Nantes, where we're kind of trying to have La Bagarre Électrique, most notably. And obviously, Brittany is not too far from Paris, so we can go to La Déterre and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And obviously, UFA is coming up, so go to UFA, please, everyone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, UFA real close, and obviously, as you said, La Déterre, that is also pretty soon.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be R2CS if I have to guess. I'm not in the but it's probably gonna be R2CS again.
I feel like, well, yeah, if there is another one this year, I doubt the next one would be, just because, obviously, we haven't gotten much more news yet. Obviously, they have said we're going to get news soon, but
Yeah, we did get that news article not too long ago where they
Mm.
were saying that they were changing the structure, where they would have like gold tournaments, and then like essentially silver and bronze, which would be the equivalent to the Tekken World Tour's dojo events,
Yeah.
which I find good. I really like the Tekken World Tour structure
Mm.
overall. Just lacks a little bit of online, in my opinion, but yeah, in terms of how they structure locals, it's probably the best tour out there in the fighting game space.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you are known mostly for the production side of things, you know, supporting uh, the community, doing commentary, but when it comes to you playing the game, how would you describe your playstyle?
I'm a gorilla. Very simply put, I'm a gorilla. Like I pick locks and I press the buttons, and usually it works because people don't know how to handle magma.
Hell yeah. Oh, that's honestly, I'd say gorilla adjacent when it comes to my locks. So I respect it. I respect it a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the evolution of my Rivals One Endless, which was just I dash attack and then I wave dash and then you're gonna get hit whatever I do.
Hell yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, there's no more being around the bush. Again, very known commentator in the scene at large. What drew you to commentary in the first place?
Well, to make a long story short, essentially, the first time I casted was back in 2019 at Syndicate. Was my first major, Rivals 1 back then, obviously. I just wanted to see a major for myself because outside of like maybe Stunfest, I hadn't gone to a major. And obviously, I was also pretty, like, quite a bit into Ultimate at the time as well. So I went there. I did the Rivals One tournament, and by the end of the day, essentially the top three was supposed to be on the Sunday, but because we're not that many, was Slime at the time that decided we should do top three like late at night so that people can just go back home on Sunday, and they didn't have commentators, and I just got put on the spot to commentate. It was awful back then because I also felt like I was saying a lot of bullshit. But it was enough to get me out the door so that when COVID happened, then I started really like organizing my own tournament. And because I didn't have a commentator, I was casting myself, and that's how I really got into it, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, that just sounds like the story of basically every commentator I know. Just was in the right place at the wrong time and was just stuck with it and then just kept going.
Yeah.
And
Fun fact: a lot of my commentary experience back then, when during COVID, was mostly arms, as it turned out.
damn.
But
Shout
we had
out.
a good arms scene in Europe.
Yeah, shout out arms. It's underrated, but enough about unique fighting games. Let's talk about more of our favorite derivative.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, as you said, you do go to majors quite often, and just locals in general. What would you say makes it worth it to you to actually travel for a local?
Well, first off, you don't have to deal with online, and especially the online matchmaking queue, which is like, to me, the worst part of any fighting game. Again, shout out to Accent Core for that, for making it so I don't have to go through that. But most importantly, it's the people, really. Like, you get to meet so many different people, you get to talk, you get to make friends, you get to also get advice, which is really important when you want to improve, in my opinion. Like, you can just play with someone, do a first to 10, and then during the first to 10, you get a lot of advice on how to approach, how to handle certain situations, and you get so much more experience from just going offline. And yeah, it's really the experience of just meeting people for me which makes offline.
Yeah, very well said. I mean, to I guess go even further with that, what would you say is your favorite memory of an event? This can be local or online or otherwise.
I have a lot actually. I think one of my biggest memories, funnily enough, is not necessarily on Rivals, but one of my biggest memories is, well, at the last UFA, when I was competing in Street Fighter 6. And it's like I was fighting this player, which was coached by Layo, like a pretty prolific Street Fighter 6 coach in France. And I was hearing like essentially every advice that Layo was giving my opponent. I was playing Terry, I was playing Zangief, and then it went to 2-1 by the end, and I won, and I was so happy. And then I got destroyed by a modern Luke.
Okay, well, if I had to specify for rivals, that is a very fun
Yeah.
memory to have, but if I had to specify it for rivals, what would you say is your favorite?
But yeah, for Rivals, obviously one of the big things was on one end the commentary mishap, quote unquote, at Syndicate. That was a big one for me. Another one was also when we organized on Rivals One, that was Nantes Arena, and I got it to top four, and that was like my first top four ever, and I was so happy. It
Yeah.
was also a mess because I was also organizing the tournament at the same time, making sure that everything was working fine, and we had like someone with a keyboard, and we didn't know how to do that, how to handle the situation. It went okay still, but yeah, it was again a very strong experience, which was like my first top four essentially back then.
Yeah, trust me, I get it. I tried entering US2 a couple times while being the TO. It gets a little messy, but yeah, I
The
mean,
funniest part is that we kept picking Rock Wall for no reason during the entire tournament.
hell
So like the
yeah.
commentators were going insane about the fact that we kept picking Rock Wall.
That's awesome. uh, something I wanted to ask you specifically. What actually brought you to start supporting TSH?
Well, back then it was like the program was only supporting Smash, funnily enough. And I was like, what if we could just do better? So I was discussing with the developer, and essentially they started improving the program so that it could handle more games like Street Fighter 6, for instance. Well, not Street Fighter 6, it was Street Fighter 5 at the time. And it's like, as it went on, I was like, it was like again during COVID, so I had a little bit of time, so I started developing a few features. And also I was like, okay, but I want to use it for my games such as Rivals and Arms and stuff like that. And so I was like, yeah, let me just try to add assets, and then for several games, and then people were asking me, can you add assets for this or this game? And I was like, sure, if I have the PNGs, sure. And then it's like slowly but surely I was like the official tester of TSH, and at the same time filling in the asset database. And now we have I think a pretty solid database, I would say, not just for Rivals but for a lot of games, and also a very solid program where we just can do a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, hell, looking at the list of games at the moment, it's unbelievably long, and again, keeps getting updated with new games. I mean, it's got Invincible Vases now, it's got 2XKO, it's got all these, it's constantly being kept up to date, and it's
Yeah,
just...
90% of it is just me.
Yeah, of course, I try to lend a hand when it comes to Rivals of Aether 2 at least, just by compiling the assets, but that is a lot of heavy lifting. Like, some of these games I'm seeing, just like, obviously, or the mainline Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Guilty Gear, but then there's like Fists of Fire, there's the this kill the game if Kirby Air Ride and Air Riders, like, just so many games, just makes it such a strong tool no matter what. Hell, it's what I'm using for our little name tags here, and obviously I use it all the time for URAS 2 and such, so yeah, it's definitely a very strong tool, and there is no underselling the amount of work you just have to put up with to keep it updated, especially with the current, I guess, state of the FGC. I mean, again, 2XKO, Invincible Versus, Rivals, trying to think what other games are getting, like, active updates at the moment, but apart from that...
Marvel Tokon is coming as well.
Yeah, Tokon, you have Marvel Rivals on there, which... insane, because that game gets
it's like,
so
I don't
many
know if anyone
skins.
uses it, but like it's there.
Yeah, Marvel Rivals on something that came from Smash Bros. Why not? As I mentioned near the start of this block, you host events every now and then. What would you say is the biggest hurdle for you when it comes to organizing a bracket?
Well, most of the time, the big hurdle that I'm finding is that I'm by myself organizing the bracket, and so you're like, I have to look at the Discord chat, and then at the same time at the Start GG, and then at the same time, or back then it was even challenge, like, but at the same time I'm also trying to cast and everything, and I'm trying to juggle. I'm trying to juggle that, and it's not easy at all. Honestly, just juggling all that, and then on top, my worst thing, honestly, is actually communicating and getting people to actually sign up. We have a tendency, not just in Rivals, but especially in the greater FGC, to sign up at the last minute. Please don't do that. Please do not do that.
Trust me.
We need to see those brackets, please.
You have just spoken to my soul on that. I mean, it happens so often. I'm lucky that I have such a, I guess, tight-knit player base when it comes to URAS, but it hurts every time. I think I once got someone that entered a minute before bracket started, and I just had to try my best, but...
Yeah, I will say though, the Rivals 2 community in general is more disciplined than some of the others in the FGC. Like, if I was to try something like Renburn Garros in Smash, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, well, we are nearing the end of our section here, so just last questions. How would you describe your style of commentary?
In a way, I kind of go with the vibe. I try to at least build stories of players, and sometimes a little bit on the character balance. But because I'm not exactly a top player, or even someone who's going to go, oh, yeah, I'm going to study the frame data, I'm going to study exactly what is safe, what is unsafe, I'm trying to really build a story. And that's why I really like when I also have a co-commentator who's more into game knowledge, just in general, because I feel like this way our commentaries like really complement.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm just a storyteller at the end of the day. I'm an artist.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely how I like to commentate as well. I won't lie, some of my solo commentary is just me talking, but when I have a co-caster say it's you, Focus Miss, Fabs, literally anyone I've commentated with, I love not only obviously building a story of the players and the bracket as a whole, but also just building a rapport with your co-caster is so fun. Like,
yeah, solo commentary is not a great thing to do just in general from my experience. Usually when I do it, it's for like, again, the restreams in French. for like Arrival, or I did City Lab last year. I did Genesis, and usually it's more like I'm trying to get a consistent commentary, but at the same time it also devolves into I'm just chatting with the chat.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, the only reason I really solo commentate is because I'm also running a bracket and a stream and making graphics all at the same time. So, but
Yeah.
I
To be fair, in Renberg Girls, it also didn't help that I was also trying to like play tennis at the same time for the bit. But again, I'm an entertainer at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Rainbow and Girls, hopefully for the next one, when if and when that is, I have an actual good internet now, so I'd be able to do the restream successfully this time. But
Yeah. I'm kind of aiming for September, maybe October for that. I think October is probably going to be easier for me because there's just a lot going on in September, starting with UFA, if anything.
Well,
yeah.
To close this off, something I'd like to ask all of my guests is if you have a question or questions for me to answer.
Yeah, I'd actually like to have your opinion on something. What would you really want to do to grow your local scene?
Ooh, so as far as I am concerned, in my county, I am one of, if not the only, Rivals of Aether 2 players. I think on the outskirts there's a few players I know, but luckily it's not hard to get to London. And obviously London has the benefit of East London Smash and all these other big names. But I would love if I was able to, host a local event myself. Obviously venues are hard to come by without, getting a few favors or a sponsorship, anything like that. But I feel like something I've wanted to do this since Rivals 1. I've wanted to host my own local event, be it part of the esports season or not. I just think it would not only be helpful to the community, but also just be really fun. Obviously, TOing comes with a lot of stress, but I've been through worse as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, again, where the UK is, a smaller country, and I'm not in a very, I guess, populated part of the country when it comes to at least Rivals and Smash. Yeah, I'd love to host my own event, but yeah, apart from that, only thing left, if anyone in chat would like to do so, please leave your own questions for Matthias. Otherwise, we will move on soon. But
yeah, while we're waiting for chat, I just want to make a quick shout out. Abu, if you're watching, can we set it up so we can do Renburn Garros IRL at UFA? Like we get like 4 teams and we do that IRL at UFA.
oh, that would be.
I think
sick.
that would be really fun.
That would be sick. You heard the man. Get on it. Yeah. I guess while we're closing this out, I'm still gonna give chat a little time to formulate some questions. But yeah, thank you again for coming here today, Matthias. It's a pleasure as always to have you. Is that
welcome? Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Is that? Oh, from Ghosty in the chat. What is your favorite format to commentate or play?
Hard to say. I really like. I'm not gonna lie. I'm more of a singles guy in terms of playing, just because I think doubles, as fun as it can be a little bit messy to both play and commentate because there's a lot of things happening. But I just really like also the energy of like a big crew like we had at Valhalla. Also, like a highlight moment in my career, just going to Valhalla and commentating the French team, even though like I had a bad sandwich right before. Like the sandwich was awful. Like I got out of the venue and I kind of like got the sandwich out essentially. But yeah, nonetheless, the commentary block was so fun and everything.
Yeah. Oh, now Alicia has asked a question that I was already meant to ask you, but I guess I accidentally skipped over. Hypest set that you've commentated.
Can we talk about Fnan's aura farming during the entire beginning of the R2CS season last year?
Hell
That
yeah.
man is a natural aura farmer, both in gameplay and out of gameplay.
Oh my god, yeah, Elphanon is insane, honestly. So, yeah, I'm gonna say that is all the time we have for now. Again, thank you very, very much, Matthias, for coming along. Any last words, anything you'd like to say to our audience here today?
Yeah, just make sure to follow me on Blue Sky as well as YouTube and Twitch. It's Matthias Wolbrook everywhere. You can't miss me. You're probably gonna see my head everywhere, anyways. And also make sure to talk with your friends. Support your locals. Very importantly, support your locals. And if you have a local in France or near France, at the very least, like just slip in a word from me. I'll gladly come and commentate if I have the opportunity and the money to do so.
Awesome. Well, yeah, again, thank you so much, Matthias. I'll let you get back to whatever you was doing before this. So, yeah, thank you again, and take care.
Take care. Bye.
Okay. So, with that, again, thank you, Matthias, for joining us. But we are going to be moving on to a written section as our next guest. Again, wasn't really able to join in. So what we are going to do is I'm going to instead read their answers. Myself, I'm not going to put on an accent. I'm not like that. So what is going to happen is our next guest, I suppose still works, is in fact the one and only. Oh my god, I haven't actually set them up. Give me one moment and then we'll actually get into it. I've probably already said, but our next guest is going to be Yum, who I guess just didn't really want to be a part of this format just because of their own reasons, which is more than understandable. But okay, I have it set up properly. So I still have the overlay for it. If any of you have questions for them, I'll pass them along. Hopefully get a response by the end of stream. If not, oh well. But I sent over the list of questions to Yum, and they answered pretty much all of them. I also gave them the chance to ask me a question. They're quite busy, so I haven't received one yet. But if I do in time, that will be answered as well. One moment. So, of course, if you don't know who Yum is, Yum is a TO, of course, and Rivals 1 and 2 player, who got to the European PR in the last season of RCS, and his main goal is to help the game thrive in his country. Actually, I'll ask right now. Chat, would you rather continue to answer in the third person or in the first person as it is written? I feel like it used less brain power to do first person, but yeah, okay. Well, we'll continue in that way. So again, while still introducing themselves, I'm mostly known for creating and managing the French court, creating multiple tournament series, and being the oldest dinosaur in French Rivals ecosystem. Been around since 2014, and the Rivals 1 early access. When I asked what his main game before Rivals 2 was, he just answered Rivals 1. Before Rivals though, I played mostly Project M. I've never been a serious competitor, but I always tried my best to improve and play these 3 games with the time I had at my disposal. But as explained earlier, I'm much more of an organizer than a player to look at. I also have a very long TRing history in the Smash community, but I've lost almost all of my interest for the series. When asked what drew them to Rivals 2, he responded, "I've been an esports enthusiast for a long time now. If you've never watched a game of StarCraft 2, you're missing out. I've spent several years trying to create a serious competitive environment for the Smash games that I grew with, but I eventually grew tired of battling the biggest gaming company in the world. To this day, I still believe that Smash would be the biggest esports game, period, if it was designed with this goal in mind. But it is not. Rivals is." When I asked if there's anything from past games that they miss, to close the door, ignore the fact I'm in shorts. If there's anything that Rivals lacks, they answered, Rivals 1 mostly lacked production means and global appeal due to its retro art style. But it's the game I've had the most fun with, without a doubt, despite a questionable balance and picky netcode. Rivals 2 lacks identity. Lost a bit of what made the first one so special, in my opinion, by trying to recreate Melee at all costs. Very understandable marketing strategy, and probably the only option for the studio to survive. But boy, do I wish they did not add floor hugging to this game! Apart from this aspect, Rivals is hands down the best platform fighter that the market has ever seen, excluding Smash titles for obvious reasons. It's carefully crafted and frequently updated. They've really managed to push the Aether franchise to another level by creating so many cool characters and Claren. When I asked how active the local scene was, from a strict offline point of view, I think that France is still quite underdeveloped despite having one of the biggest EU scenes. Organising Rivals tourneys is, and always will remain, a big challenge because of the hardware constraints. Finding a venue with fitting equipment to provide a satisfying experience is really difficult without financial support, but still, there are options out there. I'm really hoping that we will see more locals being held in the future. And again, directly quoting Yam when answering these, when I asked how they would describe their playstyle, they responded, "I'm only fishing for clips, orangutan emoji." When I asked what character or archetype they would like to see added to Rivals 2, they said, "Waiting for the big monkey to make his comeback." Never had more fun with a platform fighter character than Hold On in Rivals 1. That special allowing for crazy aerial resets was really something, and I found the spirit management to be quite an interesting mechanic. Also, I can't wait to be even stronger when holding down in Rivals 2. Monkey emoji. When I asked what makes them compete, I just love plat fighters. My only wish is to help their scenes grow stronger, to eventually become a major esports genre. This goes by organizing tournaments / entering them. I don't have much time left as a competitor nowadays, and I don't have any aspirations to ever climb to the top of the Rivals 2 scene, but I'm really happy to be able to contribute to it. When I asked what makes them want to travel for a tournament, seeing the Rivals friends and supporting my fellow TOs is more than enough, but it's been a long time since I was able to travel for the game. When asked, do you feel there is much of a difference between competing in person versus in online tournaments? Online tournaments are both a blessing and a curse. They facilitate bigger events, but they are nowhere close to recreating the feeling of a true offline experience. Since it's way more convenient for both players and organizers to choose the online option over the offline one, it's only natural to see the balance weighing more and more towards the online scene. Thankfully, we are still blessed with several events in both North America and Europe that allow us to keep real-life aspects of our communities, and I'm very grateful for it. The Rivals community is hands down the nicest I've ever had the chance to be a part of. When I asked what is their favorite memory of an event, or local or otherwise, they said the latest Dathers are really the most fun I've ever had regarding offline experiences. Very narcissistic of me to say, but it's just the way it is. We are beyond lucky to be able to run this tournament series, and it's all thanks to our community, which is clearly the best one out there. The mood is always incredible here, and seeing people come from all across the country for €0 cash prize event just really blows my mind every single time. When I asked what the biggest hurdle when organizing an event or bracket was, they responded, going from console-based tournaments to PC-based ones is really tough. First of all, it's obviously way harder to find an affordable venue with enough computers to run an event. Then, you have to make sure you have the right hardware for each setup, and deal with all countless controller issues that have absolutely zero reason for happening throughout the event, which is a real treat. Also, not being able to launch multiple instances of the game at the same time, making setting up a venue extremely long and tedious. Fun, I asked them how confident they are in their own seating. They responded, I'm not. If you're unhappy with my seating, it's not my problem. It's Digito's. And then for real fun, I asked if TOs should be allowed to enact capital punishment against attendants that hold up the bracket. And they said, it's a bit extreme, but I could see it being a reasonable option towards a Claren player. And finally, they actually did... I missed it. They did send me a question in. My honest opinion about Claren. Wrong answers only. Fuck that cat. Anyways, to close off, Yam left a nice little message for the rest of the community and you lovely people in the audience. Shout out to the French community. Love you all. Also, La Defa number 5 is happening this Saturday, and it's going to be great. And that is about it. So, with that wall of text out of the way, I want to, once again, thank Yam for taking time out of his day to answer those questions. And thank him for, being the GOAT, as you have all been saying. A very wise, goated man he is. It's been around, again, since Early Access Rivals 1, and I always remember him being a pillar of the community. But yeah, that is Yum. One of the greats. Always has been, always will be. So that went by actually exactly as long as I thought it would, 15 minutes, which means we are on to our next guest, and as such, I will be passing over to myself about 24 hours ago for an interview with Metaben, who again couldn't make it tonight, but you'll be able to catch his full answers right here, right now. So I will see you all in about 50 minutes, after which we will get back to the live show. So I will be right back. Enjoy this interview with Metaben. As I've hopefully just said to you all, this next guest couldn't make it today, or I suppose tomorrow when I'm recording this. So instead, we're just going to pre-record it. Hopefully that allows me some space to make edits if need be, but regardless, this time actually doing it with audio. Sorry, Dia, for the RTCS interviews, but we're not talking about, any Belgians or anything. This is Rivals of France, and there's no better guest than the one we have next. 7th on the French PR, a wonderful person and pretty much coach to the entire community. The one and only Metaben. Hello, Meta.
Hi, hi everyone.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
Pretty nice. Been kind of rough lately, but doing great.
Glad to hear you're doing well. Well, let's see. I guess there's nowhere better to begin than just introducing yourself.
Okay, so for the ones who don't know me, I'm Metaben, player of Rivals of Aether since Rivals 1. Been playing since start of COVID. I was a SSBU player right before, and mostly a rhythm game player even before SSBU. So right now, I'm kinda one of the best runner in Europe, and might be one of the best coach there is actually. I would say in France, because I don't want to put myself above Europe. But yeah, it's kinda it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, anyone that knows anything about Rivals in France will almost definitely know who you are. Again, as I said, you are one of the best in the country. As you said, one of the best Rano in Europe. But what was something that drew you to Rivals? You said you started with Smash, so what drew you to Rivals?
Yeah, I started with Smash Bros, mostly Ultimate, because right before I was trying to find a game that could help me train on SSBU, so I started right with Brawlhalla. Then when when I figured that the game isn't what I've been searching for, I've started to play on Sleepy at Melee on Melee. Then when SSBU started, I started most right there competitively, mostly because of one of my friends who introduced me to competitive Smash with Smash 4. That I found it that really fun, so I wanted to try out for myself. And then started with SSBU. I had my fun. Almost 2 years competing. One of the best puff in Normandy. It was fun. Yet when COVID started and I tried a little bit of online playing, it was horrendous. Like I hate netcode on Ultimate. So when doing some session right here and there, I've been to one of my friend's house who introduced me to Rivals of Aether, saying to me that it was a better alternative, and it was even when it was on even before rollback. When it was on peer-to-peer, it was really fun, and I really loved online on Rivals of Aether, so I stuck to it. And here we are, I guess.
I mean, yeah, as you said, you've been playing Rivals since before Rivals 1 Definitive Edition. So how much has your, I guess, choice of main changed, if at all, since
It
then?
did change. When I started the game, I wanted to play. I think it was Rastor first, because I found it really cool. Yet when when I figured that he didn't have a strong on the floor and I had to jump for it, it was completely mind blowing to me at the time. So it was a bit too hard for me to understand. So right after, I was trying Apsa. If I recall correctly, and it was fun, sure. I did have a lot of fundamentals that I've carried from Rivals 1 to Rivals 2 on my APSA. Yet it wasn't really that. So after the third character I tried was actually Rano, and I stuck to it right right there. Like I haven't stopped playing him. Even though when I started to play him, he was busted. He was really busted. One of the easiest character to take in hand. And even though he got nerfed pretty much every patch since, I stuck to it because I love the character design. I love to play him. And for the anecdotes, it was a moment before Slade release. I was thinking about changing main because I figured I wanted to get better with Rano if I stuck to it for as long as I've been in my career, I should say. And when Slade was out, it was when with Rano I did like my best result in month. So I figured that I'm stuck to Rano. I won't play anything else.
I mean, yeah, you say that the last few events you've entered top 4 every time. Apart from, I guess, Aether and C64, but apart from that, you have consistently been getting top 4 in Monday Night Fighters, and Agorama and stuff like that. So, hey, maybe it's just a sign from Dan to not drop the character just yet. But stepping away from characters specifically, again, you've played your fair share of Ultimate, a bit of Melee, and obviously some Brawlhalla. Is there anything you miss from those titles that Rivals and Rivals 2 lack?
No, seriously, I don't see anything like that.
Fair enough.
I played Brawlhalla when we were able to dodge in the ground. Right now, you can't dodge in the ground; you can just dash. So even though it was something that I found it pretty cool, I would say it's nothing but it's nothing to Rivals of Aether. Like even if when we started Rivals of Aether 2, I really how would I say it? Crash out. There's no other way. Like I was so in Rivals 1, like no shield, no grab ledge, no grabs. Things that I fled actually from Smash because I didn't find that fun. And at the start of Rivals 2, I was not happy at all. Like I didn't like that. Yet I forced myself. To try out to think about solution, and yeah, I found some. And even though I didn't thought I would be able to apply them as effectively as I do right now, starting was really hard. But I can't see of any of this game that have something that Rivals don't have. Like Rivals have everything but better.
Yeah, I think the main thing, at least to me, is what some of these games do unintentionally, bugs that get turned into tech. Rivals did intentionally, like wave dashing. That I don't think Sakurai wanted that to happen in Melee, but it, it happens here, and it's here to stay. But yeah, that's fair enough. Obviously, Rivals 2 is a little polarizing to obviously the FGC as a whole, and especially to Rivals 1 players. So, but hey, if you love the game, I sure do. There's no point in saying you don't think it lacks anything.
I do think it lacks anything. It don't lack any. Like how?
Well,
The game is so fun. It's so quick. It's so there is everything. There's even more than most of this game because we have it full. Right? Only that bring the game to a new speed. Like if I would say.
yeah. Well, of course, with us obviously being in Rivals 2, and what's been on my mind lately, obviously, we've had the announcement that we're going to get news on R2CS Season 2. How much would you say you enter competitively, you know, on the larger scale?
Oh, not enough. Not enough. I've been working actually lately. My work actually took most of my weekends, so I can't enter the biggest tournament. Pretty much everything that happened on Saturday, I'm pretty much out of the course because I work. So I mostly work the entire Saturday, then the Sunday morning. And for the rest, it's mostly random, so it can happen pretty much every day of the week. So yeah, I didn't enter as much as I wanted to do, but you know, it happens. So, as much as I can't enter tournament, I like to help commentate in French or even coaching players that are not entering the tournament either. I mean, I have time. I can do everything. I don't mind.
Yeah, and of course, you are, especially in Rivals France, known for being, I'd say, a prolific coach. Again, as you said, probably the best coach in France. What actually, I guess, inspired you to start coaching other players?
I mean, when I was playing before, I was one of those who gave you advice when you lose. So even if I have to take an entire page of Discord feed or something, I don't mind. I wrote my best pavé, comme on dit in France. So yeah, I do. I was doing that. Then we had a player that right now don't play anymore, whose name was Seeker. Really great Maple, really great coach. Mostly in the mental part of the game. So it was really an honor. I was honored for him to ask me to join him in his creation. That was the School of Rivals France, which is a Discord when we invite players to ask us to help them. So I started like that. I was clearly the most active one of the coach. Right now we have 4 coach, me include. As for those who know, we have Rare Degree, we have Lolu, and we have Sharby, that are coaches for the School of Rivals France. And yeah, I started like that, and little by little, I started to stop giving advice to people I confront online. because some of them told me that they are not playing most of the time to get advice. They're just playing to have fun and don't really want that part of the triad. So yeah, I'm just sticking to help people who ask me actually.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I've heard many times before from different places, different games, that obviously sometimes unwarranted coaching after a lose can feel a bit iffy, especially if
Yeah.
you're not really wanting to improve in that moment. But obviously, the way you help the French community, obviously with the school server, it I've seen that it does make a big impact, and people really appreciate it. So
We do see a lot of Frenchies in result right now.
yeah. But while still on the topic of your coaching, if there is one, what is probably your, I guess, favorite memory of coaching, or your favorite, I guess, like something that came from you coaching someone?
That's a hard question. I would say my sessions with Fnan. Because like if you didn't if you don't know the development of Nan right before, he was not that good of the game, pretty much spammy, but not in a good way, I would say. Then he started. It was actually one of the first to take course in the school, and even after our first exchange, even 2 days later, even 1 week later, he was like asking for more, and we we just we were trying with Seeker to tell him to implying actually what we are taught him before asking for more, because it would be hard for him to get so much information and don't know what to train anymore. So, yeah, actually, I do think it was the funniest memory I got with the school. uh, and I would say the best too, actually. We love what we did with Nan. We love how much he became good at the game, mostly by himself. Huh? We have to tell this. We did give a bit of guidance, but it's all of his work, actually. So, yeah. That makes us happy, actually.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Elfinon's improvement, especially over the past year, has been downright insane. Like, he used to enter Euros, which obviously I don't want to put down my own bracket, but that is by definition amateur level, and now he's, one of the best in Europe. Definitely, top 3 in France. So it has been crazy to see his improvement. Obviously, we have him on the show today as well. I don't know if I assume I haven't spoken to him yet. Well, present me, I suppose. um, but yeah, he is definitely like one of the craziest stories when it comes to how he started the game and where he is now. But yeah, I mean, it just shows that with a good community surrounding you and people that know how to teach you in the way that will work, you can just do anything. Elfenon has still so much potential, even for more, and yeah, having people like you and the other coaches backing him is really, I guess, just inspiring. So
He do have a lot more to prove. Like, I'm sure he can do a lot better than he do actually. Like, he's doing really good actually. But right now we're preparing to Evo, so every week we are doing FT10 when I'll give him advice on how to develop, on how to do things, even micro games, those kind of things. I give him a lot of advice. Actually, we're at the second FT10. I won the first, he won the second. We are continuously doing them until he got to Evo. And if you don't know, there's actually a little how do I say this? There is cash to make.
Yeah,
Because
crowdfunding.
yeah, firstly there's a crowdfunding. He had the Ko-Fi, yet I challenged him to 10 Omi. If he can 10 Omi, I'd put 100 on his Ko-Fi. So I'm pretty confident he won't, but we never know. I strongly encourage him to press forward.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it at the moment, he's about 60% of his 700 euro goal, so definitely getting there. And hopefully, I've remembered to put the link to his Ko-fi either in the description or in one of the commands. But yeah, yeah. Speaking of Evo, obviously, Evo has an event in France every year as well. How well with locals and obviously in-person offline tournaments, how active, obviously France is quite a active local scene, obviously UFA, Ladefa, again Evo, but I guess closer to your own region of France, how would you say, how active would you say your local scene is?
I mean, my local. I don't have a local scene. Right there, I don't really have a local scene. I'm pretty much the only one to play rivals on my city. In my region, I would say maybe there's some of them playing rivals, but we never know. And closest I can see to me that are playing rivals is Paris, since I'm like at 2 hours in train. And there's a lot of event there. We have some players there, and the second most closest to me is Nantes, when there's a lot more player. Actually, I would say in France, the if there is 2 events where I could go without without being broke at the end of the week. It would be either Nantes or Paris, but even then, I don't have the time with my work. I can't really move that freely. If I want to move to an event, I have to ask 3 weeks in advance for my weekends, things that I can't do. For example, for the Dater, I actually wait those events so hard because it's so hype. Yeah, there's some miscommunication behind them. The team that are organizing the rivals part are some of my closest friends in the community. So of course, but yeah, they can't announce it 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks in advance. So I can't. So I won't ever be able to enter that. I'm sad about that, but you know. That's why I'm do mostly online. I don't have really the choice.
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough. I have to ask, with obviously your work, you don't need to go into detail about what you do, but has it always been, you know, something that got in the way of rivals? Is there a time where you weren't as busy and could enter more locals, or?
I've done more tournaments when I was a student than before I was right there. When I was student, I could move to Paris. I've done it actually once, once or twice. I can't recall correctly, but yeah. I feel like even if I hadn't like had the money to move more, there is more event that I can do without paying too much. Feel like a ticket to Paris for me is like 30 euros, something that's pretty affordable even for a student. So yeah, I felt like back when I was student, I had more opportunities, I would say. And even though right now I have the money to move, I don't have the time. So that you know, things happen. I can do most of the thing I want to, but it's okay. I had other things to do, so I don't mind.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Obviously, with a job, there's a lot more restrictions on the traveling side of things. So, I'd say, especially Europe as a whole is pretty, I guess, lucky with how often we have online tournaments. I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure we have a weekly every day of the week.
There must be at least one day when there isn't a tournament. But yeah, we have weekly mostly every day of the week.
Let's think about it. So there's Monday Night Fighters. There's Himiko's Arena. I believe that's what, Tuesdays or Thursdays.
If I recall, it's 1 week out of 2, and the other weeks we have another thing.
Yeah, well, there's enough tournaments in a week to enter.
Yeah.
But...
even Wednesday we have the cruise team that's doing the Krusty Bats. So yeah, right for the first 3 days of the week, I can do a turn a day. That's something I can do.
Yeah. Well, with that, what would you say, if you have one, is your favorite memory of an event? It can be obviously in an RCS or R2CS circuit. It can just be a random weekly, a random major circuit, just anything you can think of that really...
Okay, I have one, and it's kind of funny. Like, it was back in Rivals 1, actually. When we had, in the French community, we had still Shade, who's right now pseudo is Shush, and Zonix. And I first met them at HFLAN, if I recall. A tournament in Paris was who is doing Rivals, PM, and Melee, which was really fun. And I do remember that I played Shush in free play before we have to face in Ranked. And he was like, "Oh damn, I didn't see that coming." Yeah, I would say it was even. I won't say I was beating his ass, but I would say it was pretty even. And then when our set started, I put a great fight. But yeah, after our set, he told me, "Yeah, I actually was sandbagging in our free play, but it." It was a great set though.
That is so shush. Just sandbagging in friendlies before a bracket. Come on, man. Against someone you're, up against in brackets. That's insane. But yeah, that
He wanted to give me confidence before we fought.
messed up. But honestly, that is hilarious. Really good. Yeah, I mean, apart from that, again, earlier you said that you also do a bit of commentary for French brackets. What actually drew you to commentary in the first place?
Pretty much nothing.
Just the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, so to be clear, the last and only really tourney I've commented was the last Krusty, the last Krusty Bats All-Star Edition. We had a French stream on the Vincica stream and an English stream on the Last of Many stream. So yeah, the thing was that I wasn't able to enter the tournament because I was working the same day, And because I'm like one of the first big head that joined the Krusty Bats in first hand, and then one of the people that I've talked the most with the tournament, they wanted me to do an appearance, to do something for the tournament, and I'll be obliged, of course. They asked me if I would like to commentate, and I say yes, of course. I've been adding a kind of a little hype, I would say, and a more analytic commentary. So actually our French caster like Missy Roux, the Missy, or Noel or something told me that I've done a great job, and I'm pretty happy with that, you know.
I mean, commentary is really fun, and obviously if it's a bracket you're already comfortable with and familiar with, it makes things a bit easier. Like, every now and then I'll have an old entrant of mine, Everest, help me commentate Euros, so I get it. It's fun to just hop on the mic, no pressure, no expectations, so...
Yeah, it's fun. It's freeing actually.
Yeah, yeah.
You can you can cheer for people. You can, I won't say like screaming or something, but if you want, you can. Like, this is freeing. You can just say, even if you want to say shit, you can say shit.
Yeah.
Nobody mind. And everything love that. So why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to me, it's about the only time I'll ever be like biased towards an entrant is anywhere but Euros 2. As the TO, I can't really be biased. That'd just be messed up. But I've definitely rooted for people in Euros 2 because the storylines, you know, the upsets, the hype, stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like, especially if it's not one that you are, I guess, affiliated with on the, I guess, technical side of things, you can just say whatever the hell you want, as long as it's, you know, not heinous.
Yeah, sure.
But, okay, we are, I think, just about through my questions, so just a few quick last ones to end off with. I was actually supposed to ask this one earlier, but is there any character specifically, or just like archetype of a character that you'd like to see added to Rivals 2 next?
Sylvanas. It's not to me. It's not a question because some of my friends just wait for Sylvanas to have been brought into the game to start competing in the game or playing it even more seriously, and I want them to play the game, so I want Sylvanas to be in the game. That's nothing more.
I mean, hey, the next announcement lines up with Evo, so hey, hopefully they'll use that big stage to bring back the big character. Sure, just ignore the fact that the last character was Earth, and we are yet to get a new Air character. Just ignore that. It'll be Sylvanas, surely. Yeah.
I don't think we'll get Sylvanas in more than a year.
Anyways, I guess, is there anything else? Obviously, you think, at least gameplay-wise, Rivals 2 has everything to offer. But is there anything else you'd like to see added to the game?
To be fair, not really. I can't think of more things that could be added to the game. Actually, we recently had the fun edition of the game with items, with more stage, things that are just there for the fun, and I think it was one of the things that that the game was lacking before, and we got it. Maybe a little better solo part, but You know, most of people who play Rivals of Aether don't play it because it has an arcade style or something. They're playing it because some of them were interested in melee, but melee is too hard. It's like I do feel like it's really melee but easier and more accessible, and that's how we need actually. We don't need really more things. At least that's my feeling about the game right now.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, as you said, we had the Fun for All update just last month, and that was like when I asked that question during the RTCS interviews, that was like the main thing that got brought up. Items, casual stages, all that. So I do really think the game is in a really good place right now, obviously. Hopefully by next year we'll have the story mode and like I'm still waiting for custom colors. That has to be soon, please. I know it's in the Beyond section of the roadmap, but I need it now. But
It was something back in Rivals 1. You can customize your character. You can even at the end of Rivals 1 customize premium skin. That was the biggest thing that actually that come to the game, and we didn't ask for it, but yeah, we got it anyway. So yeah, that would be really cool actually. Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Even though it could bring people that's doing 000 skin, like entire black skin, things that are very toxic to play against online. So at least if they bring custom color back, bring to the button that disable it.
yeah. I mean, I think those like pitch black skins will be at least slightly less of an issue in a 3D game because obviously the silhouettes are more defined than pixel art, but yeah, bring back the option to disable them online as well. But yeah,
Yeah, for people who had actually the potato mode, it would be unfair actually, because
Yeah.
the entire background is full black. You can't see a thing.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah, especially on like Jules Vale is a very just pitch black background on Potato Mode.
Yeah, Jules Verne, Forest, even some part of Fire Capital. I would feel like this would be really unfair for the players.
Yeah. Well, I guess the last question I'd like to ask, I've asked everyone so far, is do you have any questions for me?
Ooh.
Or a question, any?
I didn't. I don't. I didn't really see the whole thing about the last interviews you done, but what actually keep you from doing a Raz every week?
Oh, so it's a micro history lesson. When I first started playing Rivals, I think back in 2018, I entered URAS once, got 8th out of 8, and I don't think I played it. I think I played it like 5 more times throughout the rest of Rivals 1. But when I started doing like graphic design, obviously my top 8 graphics and all that near the end, I did some for the original URAS. I had designed the last season, I did all that, obviously with the help of Silver, the old TO for it, and I actually forget when Arigator stopped TOing, but we worked together on some design stuff for that as well. And doing that really, I guess, engrossed me to Amateur Rivals. I also actually TO'd the original Rookie Cup for Rivals 1 back in the day. Novice Cup even. But yeah, when it came to Rivals 2, obviously we went a couple months in and I didn't have to do this, but I messaged Silver, who at this point was pretty detached from the community already. They're just doing their own thing these days. But I was like, hey, you cool with me taking your ass and doing it myself? And yeah, last February, just decided, hey, we don't really have... This was before Rivals Rookies, I believe, so we didn't really have brackets that catered to that mid-range of players. Obviously, I feel like, especially in Europe, most of our players are in the amateur to intermediate range of skill. Obviously, we have a lot of really good players, but most of our community base is, you know, not going to be taking top 8 at UFA, but no shade to anyone in particular. But yeah, and then yeah, what, a year and 2 months later, here we are. I've got, what, it's US 2 number 57 this coming week, I believe.
You've been doing a lot of work.
Yeah, obviously I also run the stream. I decided to do that on a whim. I actually, yeah, like before, US 2 was just a bracket. There was no stream for it.
Yeah.
I don't even remember if there was anyone calling for a stream of the bracket, but I figured, hey, we have a Twitch channel, we have YouTube, so yeah, 21 weeks in, I was like, no, I'm gonna start streaming. So I just downloaded Tournament Stream Helper Tool, put together a really just basic overlay, and just since then I've just been pouring all of my creative vision into it. But yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for URAS 2, hey, we wouldn't be in the creator program. So, well, I'd like to say so, since now we have, you know, a weekly stream. But yeah, and the only main thing that keeps me going all this time in is the community I've built up around it. We have a lot of people that watch the stream regularly, from beginning to end, which is insane to me because those are like 3.5 hour streams. But yeah, just the people that enter, the people that just watch, people that can't enter anymore. You know, Ghosty20, he's insane these days. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it just became very special to me. So
That's a nice way to see the community evolve too, because you see people, you see new people enter the Euras, you see people getting banned from Euras because they're not too good. Yeah, I do have a lot of good memories with Euras. I do watch the stream every time when I can. So, of course, cheering for my French fellow. But yeah, it's really nice to see we still have that in that community. We have, I would say, we can see this. We can watch them. That's something we couldn't before. We had actually for a time had a French restream with Nan, but I don't know. I don't know why you kind of stopped doing that. But yeah, it's super fun. It's super cool.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, we had our first Raz ban, and it was a Frenchman this season with Nosages last week. So
Yeah.
that was cool. Yeah, I think obviously with brackets like this, you'll get the same smaller pool of players entering every week, but somehow, regardless of that, we have pretty consistent attendee numbers. We have consistently different results. It's honestly, it's really refreshing because this is no shade to any other TOs, but all the other weeklies we have, obviously, some players will enter every week, some will enter every other week, stuff like that. But it doesn't really leave any room for change in at least the results. Obviously, you'll see, like, General, Don Cascone, and names like these always getting top 8 when they enter. But something like Euros, where the top players end up getting banned, it just leaves space for... Also, just, it's a really nice place to improve. Again, again, Elfnon started with Euros too. Obviously, he had the help of school, but apart from that, yeah, it's just... I feel like for a fighting game community to grow, it needs to also help its baseline, its lower end of the skill spectrum. It can't survive alone off of the top players. Otherwise, who's gonna play it? It's all just gonna be watching the top players because there's nothing for the...
And where it's really nice is, to me, it's because the level of Euros is so homogeneous that you have a lot of info when you ending your run of Euros. You have done a lot of game with people the same level as you. You hadn't passed your review. Playing top players of people you can't really afford to get info with because you're just getting absolutely destroyed. So yeah, it's giving really that middle ground for people to get information, start to implying things in their game, to take the advantage. That's really about that. To me, Euros is really about that. Who's gonna adapt first, and who's is getting the best game plan for their character, who's going to adapt fastest. That's things you can't really have them when you're just playing against, I don't know, you said it, Don Cascon, I would say Flumberic, Generog, Nailax, Dia, me, Nibo. Those, it's still great information to play with us because we do put the emphasis on what you're doing wrong, but we won't let you much space to adapt. That's the thing.
Yeah, like, you're not gonna go 0-2 because, oh, you got seeded into Nibodax and Gothics. If you go 0-2, it's because there is obviously still going to be a skill gap between bottom seed and top seed, but it's going to be almost negligible. It's not going to be so big that it just is an instant lose. There is enough space to adapt, enough to see where you need to improve, because playing at your own level rather than every level means that you get to really improve on your own skills rather than having to adapt to everyone else's skill. But yeah, that was a very long way to answer that very simple question, but yeah.
It was, damn.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god, I think that was an extra, like, 5 minutes or something, but...
Sorry, guys!
It's okay, it's okay. It's okay. If anything, I'm sure whoever I have next was okay with waiting a little more, but... Regardless, thank you, Metaben, for coming along. Is there anything you'd like to say to our audience? Obviously, you're not going to be able to see what they say back, but... Anything you'd like to say to our audience?
First of all, thank you for voting me in the poll. It was really to me pretty unattended. Even though I'm kind of popular, I don't think I'm the best to ask. I'm the best to answer questions in both. I don't think of myself as someone who is pretty interesting, but yeah, thank you for everything. All I have actually is, in big part, this community that I love. And I still do what I do best: tournament and coaching. Don't if you find me in casual or in ranked, do not hesitate to ping me on the Grand Core, the Euro Europe, or Raw Friends to ask me questions. I'd be glad to answer.
Well, again, thank you so much, Metaban, for joining us tonight. I'll let you go now, but obviously, I have. Well, we have your little Twitter underneath your name there. It's also going to be linked in the YouTube description. So, obviously, Metaban wasn't able to attend in the present, so we had to pre-record this. But yeah, show Metaban the love he deserves, and yeah, thank you again for coming along, Metaban.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you again to Metaban for taking time out of his evening to do this with us. But with that out of the way, we'll be moving on to our next guest back in the present. Okay, hello again, everyone, and thank you again to Metaban for, spending the evening yesterday answering those questions. Of course, make sure you send him all the love he deserves. But for now, we are back to real time, and I have our next guest with us. Just need to set one last thing up before I can officially start us, which I am doing right now. It'll only take a couple seconds. Also, yeah, Lelege Putain. But regardless, our next guest, let me actually remind myself exactly what number, well, obviously a high-level player in the French scene. She is, let's see if Super Major would like to load quicker, 6th on the current French PR, and the down throw diva herself. We have the Gamer Pabu. Hello. Yeah, thank you for being here. Yeah, of course, of course. Now, again, for anyone who may not know who you are, oh, actually, I forgot to. Sorry about that. I forgot to unmute the Discord, but they should be able to hear you now. Yeah, hello, Pabu.
Hello,
well,
can everyone hear me?
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Nice.
Well, if you would be as kind as to introduce yourself.
Well, hello, I'm Pabu, and yeah, I'm a French roster player, and yeah, as you said, I was ranked 6th on the last PR for France. So yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, you've been around the Rivals community for a while now. What was your main game before Rivals 2?
Well, before Rivals 2, the platform fighter that I played the most was Ultimate. I played I think around 2000 hours in Smash Ultimate before. I wasn't very good because I just kept switching character every week, so I never really got far in this game. But I liked playing it. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, as I've said before, there is a lot of overlap with Smash and Rivals, of course. But what actually drew you specifically to Rivals?
Well, when the game came out, well, I already knew about Rivals of Aether 1, but I had never played it before. But well, I told you I played Ultimate, but I also just like to play some other random platform fighter just for fun with one of my friends. So like we usually I just played with like one friend on like other platform fighter, but I played like a bit of Melee, a bit of Project M on like Dolphin Netplay. I played like Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, but only the first one. So it was a bit of a weird game, but it's just fun when you just play with one friend. So we thought we were gonna buy Rivals 2 when it came out to just try it out and have some fun. And I ended up really liking the game. Really liked the characters. The movement felt really nice. The online was also very good. So a lot of things that I liked about the game. So I ended up playing it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. And interesting thing that you played. Yeah, Nasby won.
Yeah, only the. But like, I think I only played against like in like one matchup in this game because I think I queued like once on like normal queue and I just played with one friend with my friends. So
Fair enough, fair
so
enough.
it's
But obviously, Rivals 2 is quite different from those games, Nasby especially. But is there anything from those other games that you've played that you miss that isn't in Rivals 2, or just anything you think Rivals 2 lacks?
not really. I don't think there's really anything that's particularly missing from Rivals 2. Yeah, no. Well, I would say like compared to Ultimate, I feel like even though the Fun for All update was really good, I feel like it still doesn't feel as fun like just in a casual settings as like Smash Ultimate, in my opinion. Because there's just like more stages and more item in Ultimate, but it's not really relevant when we just look at the game like from a competitive standpoint.
Yeah, that's more than fair enough. I feel like the casual side of things is definitely going to be a very common answer. Hell, it's been basically the one answer I always get when asking that question.
Oh, I'm not the first one.
Yeah, but I feel like the Fun for All update definitely helped at least alleviate that. But
Okay,
obviously,
definitely.
but obviously we're still waiting on story mode, which, as I said in the last one, should hopefully be next year, maybe, hopefully. But
Yeah.
regardless of that, again, you are pretty well known as a high-level player, especially in France. How would you describe your playstyle?
Uh, that's a good question. If I had to describe it, like, I feel like I usually play pretty patient in neutral. I like to think. Just kinda trying to play more like with punish and all that, using restore speed. And then I try to hit my opponent really hard with my combos. That's kinda just. I really try to make the most out of every opening because, well, I often don't get a lot of openings per games against really good players. It's really hard, so I try to really hit very hard with my combos.
Yeah.
I'd say that's yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very solid way to play. You know, patience is a virtue after all. It's a good skill to have, just knowing when to when and why to pick your fights. Obviously, if you just rush in, especially on a character like Rasta, it could go horribly wrong. So
Can go wrong very quick, yeah.
yeah. No, obviously with competing in a game like this, there's gonna be a lot of events that you attend, and like looking back at some of your highlights, obviously ninth place at the last UFA, did pretty consistently in RTCS. You do well in Ladefa. Uh, in your opinion, what do you actually prefer? Going to a local or playing online in the comfort of your own home?
Well, I will say I feel like going to in-person events is just usually a better experience, just because you see your friends. It's really nice. However, sometimes at certain events that I went, there was some issues with some of the setups and it can be really frustrating when you're playing and there's like performance issue that you wouldn't have had at home. But then in online bracket, it can also be kind of frustrating because like when you lose, there's no one, you can't go talk to the people that are your friends. It's just, well, you can, but like it's not the same. Like you're not in person, you can't keep watching the event or playing friendlies with the other people. So overall, I would say that I prefer in-person events, but of course you can't enter as many in-person events as online. It's way less available. You need to travel, especially since I live in a region of France that has well, there's basically there's no local in my city there, so they're less available. But I really like going to in-person events. Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty much the main hurdle, is I guess accessibility. Obviously, if you're not living in a like big area like Paris, like London, like any of these big cities, it's gonna be harder to get to those events. But I agree, it's always a great time, at least when you're around like-minded people with friends. So it really does make the best out of it, even if there are technical issues or stuff happens
Yeah.
in the bracket. But apart from just the fun of it, what actually would you say drives you to compete? What makes you want to enter tournaments?
I I don't really know. I never really stopped to think about why I was entering bracket. It's just when I feel like it's I enter, because I feel like playing in a bracket is very different than like playing just in friendlies, because it feels like you're trying way harder to win. So I feel like when you win like a close set in a bracket, there's really I don't think there's any feeling like that you can get just by playing in ranked or like in friendlies with people. But so I feel like when you clutch out like a close set, there's that feeling is really, it feels amazing. So I think yeah, that's why I enter bracket. It's just because, well, competing it really you it feels nice. Yeah. I don't really know what to say more than that.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose obviously if you enjoy the game enough and you like, winning like most people do, I feel like yeah, just the stakes of a bracket, just even baseline, even if it's like a weekly that is all for fun, adding some stakes does, I guess, enhance the experience. So yeah, I get it. Yeah.
It can also be stressful sometimes, but it's kind of like a double-edged sword, you know.
Yeah.
It can be exhilarating, but also stressful sometimes. But I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I spend most of my time with rivals TOing or commentating, but I'll still enter locals. I feel like actually traveling to, because I still love playing this game, and competition, especially in a game like Rivals, is really fun to me. But yeah, what would you say actually? Well, on the topic of traveling to a local, what would you say actually makes you want to travel for a tournament? Like, what would a tournament need for you to feel like it's worth traveling to?
I feel like one of the things that I kinda want when I'm looking to travel to a tournament is first of all I like it when there are like some of my close friends that are attending the tournament, because if I just go to a tournament and I'm not super close with any people, like I'm not really the most socially comfortable person, so it could be a bit hard for me. So that's one of the first things that I look into. But usually my friends they are often at tournaments, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Another thing that I want to look at, it's well, as I've said previously, sometimes I like to get confirmation that like the setups at the tournament will be like at least as good as my PC, because otherwise it can feel a bit disorienting when you play on a setup that is like at 60 Hz, for example, on the screens. I would prefer like to not to not spend a lot of money to travel and then arrive at the event and be surprised by the screens.
Mm. Yeah.
So usually, but
Oh no, sorry. Finish.
Oh, sorry.
No, sorry. I was trying to tell you to finish. Just had a few
Oh,
frame
okay.
drops.
But usually, most tournaments they have a really good setups. At least in France, like La Déter, every setup is like extremely high quality. Same at UFA, the setups were really good. Next week I will be going to Milan for Molten Merendero 4, and I went to the third edition, and also like the venue was really good. All the PC was super extremely high quality, so no issues. So I feel like most of the tournament organizers that are really no rivals, they do a really good job at having a good setup, despite the game optimization being a bit of a problem sometimes. But sometimes when the game is a side event, I like to make sure first that the quality of the setups will be good. And then also, of course, I look at who is attending, if there's going to be a lot of people or not, to see if it's worth going to the event. But usually that's it kind of depends also on like the price that I would have to pay for my train or flight to go to the event. So there's a lot of factor that I look into to choose which offline event I attend.
Yeah. Sorry, real quick. Yeah, for some reason, the stream is dropping a lot of frames, and I don't know why. It's not my connection. I'm pretty sure it is almost exclusively OBS just being mean. Oh, what's happening? It wasn't like this earlier. What's going on? Okay, it seems to be alright at the moment. So let's just continue and hope for the best.
Okay.
So on the topic of locals, what would you say is your favorite memory of an event? This can be local or online.
Let me think for a bit.
Of course, of course.
I think the first thing that comes to mind is like the first time I went to an offline event was at like UFA last year, and because it was the first time I went to an offline event, it was the first time seeing like my friends in real life. Like I got to hang out with Fnan, Sauls, Elisha, Cross. It was really amazing. And I think like yeah, I really enjoyed myself at this event. Just seeing like also all of the other people from the French community were also there. Like and just it was the first time I ever went to a like I traveled for a tournament like ever. So it was a really good memory, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely sounds like it. I mean, yeah, being able to meet people that you've only either seen messages of or only heard their voice, actually being able to meet people you've met through the community is always a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, just the best part of local events. And again, UFA seemed amazing to be at, not only for the results of the bracket, but also just because, I mean, UFA is an insanely polished event, I feel.
For sure.
So,
Which was really good.
now, let's see. Oh yeah. When thinking of the future of Rivals 2, is there any either specific character or archetype, or even just general animal you want to see added to Rivals 2 next?
I'm not really sure. I did play a bit of Rivals 1, but after playing Rivals 2. So, but I'm still like, I don't really know a lot about the returning characters. I know what they do approximately, but like I've never played competitively in Rivals 1, so it's hard to think who I would want to return next. I feel like maybe someone I would maybe enjoy playing someone like Ori, maybe someone similar to. I feel like really fast character, so
Yeah, that's fair
so
enough.
I could enjoy that. Um,
Yeah, Ori and San were a very unique character when it came to how they played in Rebels
Mm.
1, so it would be really cool to see something like that return. Obviously, I don't think we're gonna get Ori
I'm not
specifically.
sure, but
I,
maybe it will be like legally distinct Ori. Yeah.
hey, I'm still grieving the fact that we're never getting Shovel Knight back, so...
Oh, for sure. I did like Shovel when I played. I played a bit of Rivals One, and I did like Shovel Knight a lot. He seemed like a pretty funny character. Maybe not to play like against in a competitive environment, but just playing more casually with friends. He's really fun.
Yeah, I miss
I really
Shovel...
like just his forward there and forward tilt, just hitting people with his punch.
Yeah,
Found it really fun.
I miss my honest low tier. But yeah, let's see. Okay. Hmm. So we are pretty much at the end of my questions for you already, but again, everyone in the audience, feel free to start sending your own questions for Pabu to answer. We'll get to them in a moment, but earlier, before the stream started, I asked you if you had any questions for me. Were you able to think of any? If not, that's perfectly fine.
Well, I think a question I have for you, it's regarding, since you're the TO, the main TO, well, the TO, just the TO for Euras, which French player do you think is going to get Euras banned next?
Okay, well, let's see. If anyone in chat is a Euro stream regular, avert your ears now, because I have spent the past year being staunchly unbiased. But I think, let's see, honestly, probably, I actually need to remind myself of some of these players, where they're from, because I keep forgetting. No, they're Italian. They are. Honestly, I think it's between like Laura or honestly, the Pass as a good shot.
Yeah, maybe.
Funny enough, just a lot of good water character players in France. I mean, it's funny. Obviously, one of the best players in France started in Euras 2 and has just exploded in skill. Hey, so you're never getting Raz banned, Fnan, but you're definitely too good to play in Euras 2. Yeah, if I had to go based purely off past results, not my own personal opinions, Law, obviously the past, so, I mean, it'd be really funny if the next to get banned was the other French Orcane, as we had Nosages last week.
Yeah. I feel like these two, they could start winning Euras very soon. I
Yeah.
think like now that Nosage is a man, it kinda opens. Well, it's not like they couldn't beat him, but it was hard since Nosage is really good too.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Just gonna look through our chat and see any questions. So Alicia asked, "Who do you prefer between Galvan, Lorena, and Slade?" So the past 3 characters.
I know why she's asking this question to me. I don't really like any of the last sword character that were added. Not really a big fan of any of their designs. I feel like I don't really like playing against any of them. I feel like they usually just play kinda annoying in neutral. Like Galvan just throws neutral B, and it's kinda annoying. I feel like Larena just puts me between the chair. Well, when I'm between her and the chair, it's annoying. I have to like go eat the chair so before being able to really play. And then she punishes very hard too, so not a fan.
Yeah. Alicia has made an addendum. You've probably just seen it. Kiss, marry, kill, Galvan, Lorena, Slade.
Okay. Kiss, marry, kill. No, I think this one is easy. I think I kiss Slade, I marry Larena, and I kill Galvan.
Hell yeah.
That's my answer.
Okay, and for a real question, sorry, Alicia, didn't mean to throw shade there. Cross asks, what stage layout you would like to see added next?
I'm not really sure. I don't. I feel like we already have a lot of the most common layouts. So maybe something like that is like kinda similar to like current metal refinery, but only when there's not the platform in the middle, just like when it's on the side, but all the time. I think there's a stage like that in Rivals 1 too.
Yeah,
I think it's like the Ori stage though.
Spirit Tree, yeah. Thank you for reminding me.
Maybe something like that could be fun. But I don't really know what it would be replacing. I feel like the current stage list is pretty good. Well, I know a lot of people don't really like Hyperborean Arbor, but I don't really mind it. I think it's well, it's definitely a weird stage, but I feel like it's okay. I'm glad they removed Armada though. This one was the slanted walls, all that. Not a fan.
Honestly, I'm still holding out hope for just a final destination. Honestly, just a flat plane. I know with the current cast of characters we have, it's gonna be, not.
I feel
the
like
best,
your
but-
final destination might be a bit too polarizing.
Yeah, but
Still
could be
but
fun.
if you think about it, like a stage like Spirit Tree is pretty similar to FD, with some platform on the sides. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I feel like FD could be it could be a bit toxic for like certain characters. Yeah. I'm not sure they will add it, but maybe. I don't really see which stage it would replace in the current rule set.
Well,
Mm,
okay. Well,
yeah, I'm not.
while we have a stable frame rate, at least for the moment, is there
Oh.
anything else you would like to say to the audience? Any last words before we say goodbye?
Mm, well, uh, I don't think I have anything more to say. Well, I can. Well, thanks for to the people that listen to that listen to the stream, and thank you for inviting me again. It was really nice.
Yeah, of course. It was really cool to have you. So I guess with that, I will finally let you go from this. Thank you again
Okay.
for coming, and yeah, yeah, it was really nice to have you. Obviously, we had a few a few drops, but that's fine. I'll figure it out. I don't know what's
Okay.
happening though, because like my CPU looks all right, my memory is fine. I'll figure something out. But yeah, thank you again. Yeah, that is all the time we have with Game of Party. So yeah, take care.
Take care. Bye.
Okay. Now, with that, we are going to take a. Oh my god, my frames. Okay, we are going to take a quick break to get ready for our next guest. And then I will be right back. So, see you all in just a moment. Okay, welcome back everyone. Ignore the fact that the stream got disconnected for a moment. Figured out what was wrong. Oh, never mind, I didn't. It's still going bad. What is happening? Okay. We are going to take another second, very quick break while I figure out what's going on with my internet, because I've recognized it's my internet. Just need to figure out why, though. Actually, everything looks stable. If it happens again, we'll take another quick break. But to keep the show rolling, I don't want to make this go over any longer. So, oh my god. Never mind. If everyone can still hear me, I am going to pause the stream real quick and fix this. Oh my god. Hey, hello everyone. I don't think this is working very well. So the problem has been found out. The extension box I put in my room yesterday has just stopped working in the middle of stream. It was working before the MetaBen video, isn't now. So, by the looks of it, I'm going to have to actually delay the rest of the show. Potentially to another day. I'm really sorry, but it's not looking great, guys. I don't even know if you can hear me, but if you can, yeah, sadly, the last 3 guests, I don't want this VOD to be as choppy as it already has been, so either I'm going to pre-record them and splice them into the VOD, or just do a second live stream. Regardless, our next guest was gonna be Missy. Hello, but yeah, I don't think this is working. I spent the past 10 minutes trying to get it to work, but I think I have to cut my losses here. Thank you anyway, Missy, for taking the time to do this, even though it's just not wanting to work. Yeah, so if anything, I'll figure something out and most likely just be a full VOD to release on the YouTube channel. I'm really sorry about this, guys. Don't know why this happens, you just gotta roll with it. So, at least for now, I have been Hokuri, your host, and I guess wannabe Frenchie, or whatever the hell got based on the intro of this stream. It is what it is, but you know, as always, I'd like to remind you all to soyez de bonnes personnes. Take care, everybody.